is your Classic Metal Show right here on theclassicmetalshow.com. That's a brand new tune from the band Dragonforce. That tune, a nice soft little number called Defenders. And on the phone right now, the defenders of everything that is Dragonforce, it's Sam and Herman from Dragonforce. Guys, how are you?
Great. Yeah, good, thanks.
Excellent. Well, guys, I got to say, this album, not that this is like new to you guys, but this one is even faster and more furious than everything before it.
I'm quite glad you noticed, actually, because the funny thing is, the first song on it, everyone always says, oh, our new album's faster and heavier and blah, 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 and everyone just says it as a matter of... But we actually technically can prove that this is faster and heavier, because the first song, especially, is 240 BPM, and we used a heavier gauge strings on the guitar, and it's 7-string guitar, right? So it actually is scientifically faster and heavier.
Sure.
Scientifically proven. Amazing. So no one can say it's not.
Well, guys, talk about that a little bit, especially for the both of you as guitar players. You know, does that become a goal, or is it just sort of the way that the music gets created that you guys, you know, push yourselves to be even faster and harder to fit the music that you're creating?
Well, we actually don't. I mean, we don't on purpose. Obviously, we still have to play something that we like and it sounds good. Like, we could speed it up to, like, you know, play it at, 300 BPM we wanted to, but might probably not sound very good. You know, you've got to kind of like still, think of the actual song itself. You know, we kind of, the first song on the album, The Game, that was like, which was the fastest one. That was kind of an experiment. We weren't actually sure if a song would work that fast. So, but it did, so like, but yeah, no, at the end of the day, we're just still playing music that we like, really. I mean, some of the songs are slower than before, some are faster, it's a kind of a mixture, really. So it's not really about, like, trying to do anything just for the sake of it. It's just, like, playing stuff we like.
Sure. Now, guys, it's no secret you guys worked with Matt Heafy of Trivium on this release for a few songs. How did Matt end up working with you guys?
Matt, yeah, he's a friend of us. We've toured the Trivium before, a few times. So when we had the songs kind of recorded in the stage that we thought, okay, now let's think of adding some other different kind of vocals in the background and stuff. And we usually do some kind of like death metal, thrash, kind of heavier vocal style ourselves. But this time we thought, maybe why not ask Matt, a professional, good vocalist. Compared to us, we're pretty, we're not exactly the singers, we get sore throat doing these things in the studio. So that we're friends with him, and we kind of basically asked him, and he just kind of gave us this amazing work, that we didn't expect to spend that much, time on it, but he really did an amazing job, actually.
Sure. And the one thing about the songs that he appears on is that he does, it doesn't feel like it's Trivium being infused into your music. It definitely feels like Dragonforce, just with, a little bit of an outside element to it.
Yeah, I mean, that was like Herman said, we always had like either ourselves or some of our friends like doing the kind of harsh, rough vocals. So it's not like we've never done that before. We just thought it'd be cool to have someone that people already know him, like when we, Trivium's a cool band and stuff, and obviously he's got a really cool voice. So we just thought it'd make it a bit more interesting to have someone they kind of people have heard of rather than just some, one of us trying to shout and get a sore throat.
Sure. Now, guys, let's talk about Maximum Overload for a couple minutes. This is the first release that you guys did that you not only recorded with an outside producer, but also recorded outside of what has been your comfort zone as far as the studio. Why did you guys make the changes in both the producer and where you recorded?
We thought, sometimes it's good to not have everything too comfortable. We always like to challenge ourselves on every album to, shake it up a little bit. And the idea was also, so the idea of producer finally kind of came about, and we thought, since we've never actually done it with like a producer like that, it's about time we do that and see what happens and what we learn from it. By working with professional, well-known metal producer, we got to learn stuff, and it was a fun working process at the same time. So it kind of made it pretty fresh recording the album. And this time we actually really got the chance to concentrate on just playing, instead of worrying so much about the recording, producing, and all these things. And it actually kind of helped to play.
Was that a comfortable environment for you? Because I know sometimes when you're so used to having your hands on, every sound on your record, that letting somebody else do that without interfering on it can be pretty difficult.
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of worried about that a little bit before we went there, but actually there wasn't really too many arguments and stuff at all. It was kind of, I was like quite worried myself. Yeah, I thought, we're going to be arguing all day. He won't like this and we won't like that. But yeah, no, it actually, I mean, I don't know if we got lucky or we just kind of worked well together, but it really wasn't a problem. Actually, it was cool.
Yeah, I mean, we still did some recording in London here, and we even, just for a change, I did the couple guitar solos on Sultan Bathory from Five Finger Death Punch on his yacht. So that was a different kind of challenge for a laugh, and that was kind of fun.
Sure, definitely. And it's just funny that you're working with Five Finger Death Punch, you're working with Trivium. These bands have almost nothing to do with your sound.
Maybe that's one of the thing about we like loads of different kind of metal, and we respect a lot of great musicians out there. And working with Jens Borgren, for example, he never did the kind of music like we do. So that was cool too, because there wasn't this attitude like, well, I've done millions melodic bands or power metal bands or stuff like that, and this is how it should be done. I mean, he was really up for a fresh challenge.
Sure.
Himself.
Definitely. Now, working with Jens, and I wanted to bring that up, when you go out and find a producer, and this varies, it seems to vary from band to band, but when you go, and especially a band like Dragonforce that was reaching out for the first time to an outsider to come into your world to record, what was it about Jens that made you choose him versus anybody else? Was it his body of work, or was it discussions that you had with him, or what?
I like the work he has done with other bands. He's done some really cool mix with Devin Townsend. He's done different stuff like Opeth, which is different kind of interesting stuff, along with like Herman, which is really a diverse style of music. And we needed someone with really a kind of a diverse ear and who's got an ear for different kind of style of music. And that's kind of came about, actually, the idea of getting him was actually from when we were signed to Roadrunner Records back in, when we were making the Ultra Beatdown album. One of the our A&R guy back then, Mike Gitter, he suggested we work with Jens Borgren. So, it took years later until we actually thought, hey, let's get it.
Right, sure. Now, on Maximum Overload, one of the things that you guys did is what I would definitely say is the most interesting, most different thing that you've ever done, which is the cover of Johnny Cash's Ring of Fire. Just seems like such a strange choice for you guys. Why was that song chosen, and how difficult was it to rework it into your style, and specifically the two of you with the guitar lines, which are so out there on that song?
The funny thing was, it actually came about like really quickly. Like we never thought about doing a cover before in the past, because we always thought, well, everyone does covers and they're always like exactly the same as the original, but just with a different vocalist. And and so we were just like, let's do something and make it. If we're going to do a cover, let's make it completely different and choose something that there's no way we can play it like the original, even if we wanted to. So and then that just came about because I was just sitting there watching TV one day and that song came on. And I was like, and I could just kind of instantly hear the way the vocal line and chord progression went. I could imagine that as a fast Dragonforce song. So I just got on my computer and it actually came together literally in about 5 minutes, like their basic structure. And I just put some slightly different chords and made it a bit more minor, and then kept the chorus the same. And so it actually was like I said, it came about literally in 5 minutes. I'd got up to the end of the chorus, and then we just kind of extended it a bit, and there it was.
Wow.
So it was,
it just and I think probably people, when they hear it, it makes sense. But I think, and I'm sure you guys knew this going in, when people read that you're doing a cover of a Johnny Cash song, the first thing is like, what? How can that work?
Yeah, well, I was always a fan of covers that are totally different to the original. I think that's much more interesting than just playing it the same, but at the same time, we wanted it to be a song that people wouldn't just listen to for a novelty value. We want a song that if people like us as a band and they like our music, we want them to enjoy that song as much as the others, So, and I think that's kind of what hopefully they will.
Excellent. Now, guys, it's been a few years now since Mark Hudson took over on the vocals, and now that the dust has kind of settled on that change, would you say that it's made you a better band?
I think the band was always evolving. I mean, we like to joke around, we don't practice and stuff, but we really do. I mean, we really care about, make sure we get better all the time as musicians, individually, and then get better together as a band. So, whatever happened, I think, there's no doubt that if you listen to our first album up to, Ultra Beatdown, that there was it's miles apart when it comes to the, I think the composition and just the way we work together as a band live or making music, I guess, recording.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Now, another change this year, third time for a new drummer to join Dragonforce, with Dave McIntosh leaving the band. Why did he leave, and who's the replacement, and how did he come to be in the band?
So Dave, we were talking with Dave for a while, he's been thinking about, doing less touring because, he's been in the band for I guess 10 years or something like that. So,
mm-hmm.
And he wanted to kind of do something a bit different as well. He wanted to do some prog kind of metal, prog rock. So we've been talking about it, and kind of the replacement, who's Italian, G Anzalone. He's actually friends with Dave, friends of us, and the kind of transition kind of just happened, together. They recommended him as well. So it's an easy transition. We're good friends with Dave, so there's not really a problem or anything, together.
Sure. Now, guys, I'm going to assume that with Maximum Overload, you're getting ready to head out on tour for, I'm going to assume, quite a while. What does the touring schedule look like for you?
We kick off in the UK. We've got 20 shows in the UK before we head off to Japan and Europe. We at the moment actually working on some tour dates in America, so we hope to get those announced very soon. Actually,
excellent.
So that should be basically North America, US, Canada, both places. It's going to be cool.
Excellent. Well, guys, as we said, the new album is called Maximum Overload. It's soon to be available. And as a tradition on the show, guys, we always ask what we call the Classic Metal Show question. Herman, I think I asked you this the last time I talked to you. But, Sam, I'll ask this one to you. And, Herman, if you don't remember, you can throw in as well. How has Lemmy from Motorhead influenced your career?
Well, quite a lot, actually, because the first thing I ever bought was Iron Fist, actually. It was my first metal record. So, yeah, if it wasn't for him, maybe I wouldn't be sitting here now. So that's all I can say. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just apart from that, yeah, a really cool band. I always liked Motorhead. So, cool guy.
Excellent. All right, guys. Well, one more time, the name of the album is called Maximum Overload, and as a tradition on the show, we always let the artist pick a closing track from the record and maybe tell us a story about it. So what would you like us to play to end this interview?
Wow, that's picking a song. This is a tough one. Which one should we... Why don't Sam pick his one of his favorite songs on his album?
All right.
I actually like Three Hammers is my favorite one at the moment. Oh, I thought you were going to pick Tomorrow's King.
Those are my two favorite ones. So either of them.
All of them are my favorites, but I'll let Sam choose.
Yeah, I'll say Three Hammers. I like that one.
Okay, and why Three Hammers? What's the story behind that one?
I don't know. It's just kind of it's one of those ones. When you go in the studio, you never quite know how it's going to turn out. You make a demo, and you never quite know how it's going to turn out. Sometimes it's better than you expected. Sometimes not quite as good as you expected. But this one turned out better than I could ever imagine. I really like it. It's got a really great feel to it. It's really uplifting and epic. Epic's the word, exactly. Yeah, no, it's just one of my favorite ones on the album.
Well, let's check it out right now. This is Three Hammers. It's brand new Dragonforce right here on your Classic Metal Show.